happening? The game between Quake 2 and 3, do you think?
Well, what it is Quake 3 is still not...
Hello, you're watching Cybernet with me, Lucy Longhurst. Get ready to dance with a dog, tap into some power, explore a new world and make some furry fun friends. It's unbelievable. It's Cybernet. Power Stone is the latest in a long line of combat games that have tried to be that little bit different. However, unlike the disappointing Destrager, this game has enough playability and depth to keep every fighting fan happy. Although you can attack using simple punches and kicks, this method alone will get you nowhere. The idea of this game is to use the many objects you find in each level against your opponent. These include loads of throwable boxes, chairs and other inanimate objects, together with many useful weapons, ranging from swords to rocket launchers. However, to launch a truly spectacular attack, you must collect the 4 Power Stones. Both you and your opponent have one at the beginning of every battle, with the other 2 appearing during the fight. Collect all 4 and you instantly become a high-tech super fighter. This allows you to perform some fantastic moves, which usually eliminates your opponent instantly. This leads to some highly strategic battles. Instead of just attacking outright, you must use the objects around you to get at those special stones. And as each level is superbly balanced, you have to act quickly to beat your opponent. Although the gameplay can become slightly repetitive, with its beautiful graphics and lightning-fast action, Power Stone will exercise your mind as well as your muscles. Japan is the home of high-tech. Go to Tokyo and you'll find thousands of shops dedicated to the best in technology, from the smallest cameras to the largest TVs. In fact, there's only one thing the Japanese like more than the latest gadgets and gizmos, and that's games. You see, they just can't stop playing, but who could blame them? Like us, they visited this year's Tokyo Game Show, an event that has become the major showcase for new games and consoles. And with so many great products and, dancing, the event attracted more than 100,000 visitors, all desperate to get a look at the future. Set in 3 massive halls, almost every gaming company was there, all trying to amaze us with their latest titles. So whether you wanted a quick glimpse of the new Neo Geo Pocket, needed to play the latest epic role-playing games, or simply wanted to greet each of the insanely happy hostesses, everything the average game fan could wish for was here. And although there were some great combat games on show, the best battle was between 2 stands. Who were they? Well, in the red corner, Sony was pulling off some amazing moves with its new console, PlayStation 2, featuring a couple of excellent demos, including the bouncer. And in the blue corner, Sega was promoting its latest machine, the Dreamcast, displaying a huge array of games, including the epic Shenmue, which will now come on 4 discs. Of course, not every company had such amazing games to draw in those crowds. Instead, they had to use more dramatic ways to get everyone's attention. For instance, Namco decided to find the most enthusiastic young dancers ever to sing and shout about Pac-Man's birthday. But best of all, one very Japanese company decided to get 2 of their cutest characters to perform a dance. Unfortunately, just as the show ended, an argument erupted over who was the best dancer, leading to this unpleasant brawl. Oh well, I suppose it was time to leave anyway, and there'll be more from Tokyo soon. Have you ever wanted to draw pictures that dance? If so, Disney's Magic Artist Studio for the PC and Mac is for you, and it contains a few surprises. It seems that whatever you add to your picture, it just can't stop moving. If you can't draw, the package includes a host of classic cartoon characters to get you started. These can be placed into locations such as a discotheque or a beach, where they can show off their greatest moves, just like Goofy here. Very attractive. This must be the only graphics package that comes with its own jukebox full of fantastic tunes. The title offers all the drawing tools that you'll need, such as paint brushes or crayons. You can create your own drawings from scratch or edit all the existing Disney characters. There are also a few more unusual drawing tools allowing you to create pictures using animated papermen or even meatballs in spaghetti. You can grow a whole screen full of mushrooms in seconds and add a little sprinkling of that Disney magic for extra effect. Disney's Magic Artist Studio is hilarious and very easy to use, but although Mickey is a pretty good disco dancer, we think that the greatest mover has to be his pet Pluto. Watch that hound dog go. Now it's time for a look at some of our favourite, funniest multimedia titles. At 10, Sabrina has lost her magic ingredients as well as this chap's belt in Sabrina the Teenage Witch. At 9, Freddy and his funky friends decide to show us how not to dance in Freddy Fish 2. In 8th place, this bird tells our penguin friend exactly what he thinks of his wrong answers in Pingu. In 7th place, Max casts off his clothes and gets friendly with his snake in Max and the Secret Formula. Alan Titchmarsh has never looked so animated and is clearly excited about his plants from Gardener's World in 6th. The naughty Nunu has vacuumed the Teletubbies' fur too many times and is chased into 5th position. Wow, what a tongue! But the frog from Ollie's Draw a Story fails to catch the fly in 4th and is obviously disappointed. While in 3rd, Toad is in big trouble. The weasels are trying to steal his pants, and only you can save him in Wind in the Willows. In 2nd place, Millimeter is learning all about digestion with her adventures in the giant's belly. But at the top, it's those crafty bananas who just can't seem to get dressed. Bananas in Pyjamas is our number 1. Time for a look at the latest game from French hero Rayman. This is Rayman II: The Great Escape on the N64. Rayman's task is to save the world from some terrible robotic pirates led by the evil villainous duck, Captain Razorbeard. And if that's not enough, he also has to find and rescue his blue frog friend, Glowbox, and reunite him with his adorable kids. This game has been in development for years, but that time has been well spent. Rayman 2 is graphically superb and the characters are brilliantly animated. But what really impresses is the amount of effort that's gone into the different levels. Although a lot more linear than games like Mario or Banjo-Kazooie, the stages are constantly challenging and very imaginative. Whether he's using his ears to fly or riding in a spectacular minecart chase, you'll find yourself desperate to find out what strange adventures Rayman will encounter next. Our one complaint is that the fantastic Glowbox is missing from so much of the game. Let's hope that he has a bigger role in Rayman's next adventure. Despite our gripe, this is a very enjoyable platformer. It's ideal for anyone who prefers action to exploring and has a taste for fighting off terrible robotic pirates.
Yay!
OK, time for our competition now, so grab a pen. This week's prize is a Dreamcast and a copy of Trick Style to play on it. So here's your chance to defy gravity and practice all your coolest surfing tricks without getting your feet wet. To win this prize, call our number and answer this question. Who was the founder of the Disney Empire? Was it A, Walt Disney, B, Clint Eastwood, or C, Mickey Mouse? If you think you know, call 0660 113333. Please dial carefully and don't forget to ask permission from the person who pays the telephone bill first. We'll put up the question and number again at the end of today's show, so get dialing and good luck. Coming up, we grapple with some dinosaurs, take on a puzzle or two and get scared out of our wits.
A 100 years of horror, a love affair between good and evil. The characters who darken our nights.
It's alive! It's alive!
And the masters who give them eternal life.
Someone who is relearning to speak.
Introduced by the surgeon of Horror's Theater, Christopher Lee.
The concept that a human could transform into a beast is common throughout the world.
100 years of horror, tonight at 2:30 on Sci-Fi.
Is there someone inside you?
Sometimes. What's wrong with me?
Your daughter doesn't say she's a demon. She says she's the devil himself.
The Exorcist.
I cast you out!
Own it on video and DVD now at Virgin.
You've been bitten by a vampire.
Now, an ancient evil comes to a new battlefield.
Open wide, baby.
James Woods, John Carpenter's Vampires.
If these mountain gorillas can survive on these Sacanthus leaves, packed with moisture, then so can man. I must be quiet, however, if I'm to enjoy their food. The slightest unfamiliar sound would trigger a hostile...
Of course, there is an easier way to get a taste of the jungle. Celebrate the release of Disney's Tarzan with the new Jungle McDouble, only at McDonald's.
Could this be the smoothest way to advertise John Smith's Extra Smooth? No. Guess who thought being a spy would make a smooth new ad for John Smith's? Our man couldn't wait to show off his gadgets and foolproof disguises. But he soon found that being a secret agent is not all it's cracked up to be, especially if the mission involves losing a loyal friend. He knows now you don't need any undercover nonsense to sell John Smith's. Just a good look at the pint that is pure silk in a glass. Like this.
If you're single, or even if you're not, you'll always be welcome at the Singles Bar. People call in every day looking to chat, get a date, or perhaps something more. You'll find the Singles Bar on 09069 12 13 15. And we have thousands of callers every day looking for fun. So why don't you join them on 09069 12 13 15. Call us now.
Abbey's messenger of the gods, hearken unto Zeus!
What's up, dude?
You've stolen the drink of the gods. Now suffer my wrath. As punishment, you must hand over your winged sandals.
I don't need these ancient Greek sneakers anyway. I found something better.
Better than the divine ambrosia?
Yeah, it's Red Bull.
Red Bull, a new drink of the gods?
No, it's a new cult drink on Earth. It's more fun down there anyway.
And how do you plan to get back without your winged sandals?
With Red Bull. It gives you wings.
Hit your new sci-fi website at www.uk.sci-fi.com.
Connor, you copy?
Talk to us.
10-4.
And tell us what you want.
Starting.
What are you doing?
I am experiencing an unfamiliar sense of motivation.
Your sci-fi universe is now online.
Welcome back to part 2 of Cybernet. Resident Evil fans with an affection for dinosaurs rejoice. Dino Crisis on the PlayStation is survival action on a much bigger scale. You take on the role of Regina, sent with her elite team to escort a prominent scientist home from a remote island housing some very nasty lizards. We caught up with the game's Monster Mad creator, Shinji Mikami, to ask what he thought was the game's best feature.
I like that the game introduces the dinosaurs to very modern surroundings. To have such ancient creatures running and attacking within a high-tech environment is very exciting, I think.
It certainly is. With dinosaurs crashing their way into the lab with alarming regularity, Dino Crisis will have you on the edge of your seat. So successful has the game been in Japan that Shinji is already developing ideas for a sequel.
I want more action in the next game. In Dino Crisis, there's a lot of strategy involved, and you sometimes have to run away from the dinosaurs. Dino Crisis 2 will have much more action.
Dino Crisis is not a game for young children, but older players will love its great graphics and an eerie atmosphere. These two elements combine to produce a genuinely tense adventure which will test your nerves as well as your skill. Another of Shinji's creations is coming to the N64. Resident Evil 2 promises to bring all the atmospheric adventure of the famous game to the console without losing any of its features. The most impressive thing about this game is how accurately it's been converted. Everything that was in the PlayStation CD version is here, including all the movie clips and all that awful dialogue.
Hold your fire! I'm a human!
Special extras for this version include random item placement, which will make filling your inventory a little more taxing, as well as almost seamless loading times between scenes. Once again, this title is for the older gamer, and parents should check it out thoroughly before they let their children load it onto their consoles. But we can confirm that so far it looks stunning. Kane has to be one of the most ruthless villains we've ever encountered, so to get some revenge on this unpleasant fellow and help Raziel on his path to redemption, we have a useful tip for Legacy of Kain Soul Reaver. During the gameplay, pause the action and hold either L1 or R2. Now press up, up, down, right, right, left, circle, right, left, and down. When you resume, you'll discover that Raziel now has the Soul Reaver, a mystic sword that can fire missiles or act as a powerful hand weapon. Our hero now has a range of super abilities. He can swim and has the power to pass through locked gates, and even large walls are no longer an obstacle. Legacy of Kain Soul Reaver is a great PlayStation title, and we hope this small cheat will help you teach Kain a lesson he'll never forget. Tetris is one of the world's best puzzle games, and now it's been updated in a fresh version called the New Tetris for the N64. The idea is simple. Arrange the falling multi-sided blocks as neatly as possible and complete lines across the play area to make them disappear. Along with a modern look, the game has undergone a few changes. Different modes of play pit you against the clock to complete as many lines as you can, or make you finish a preset number of lines in the quickest time. Another new feature allows you to hold a shape in reserve and swap it with a falling block in an emergency. The blocks also cast a shadow that allows you to see exactly where they'll land. When playing up to 4 competitive friends, that's especially useful. The new Tetris is not that different from the classic game, but there's still something about that hypnotic music and falling bricks that's sure to keep you coming back for more. to Pong now, a game that's been credited with kickstarting the entire video games industry. The original was a simple 2-bat and ball affair, but now it's been given a new lease of life in 3D on the PlayStation. Competitors play in a series of obstacle-laden arenas and have to shoot a ball past their opponent's bat to score. To spice up the fun, the arenas are themed. Some are on ice and some are even based on a football pitch. Each one provides some new angle and challenge to the classic Pong gameplay. It looks simple, but Pong is incredible fun to play, and the arenas constantly throw up amazing new features. If you want a break from your regular console favourites, give Pong a go. You might be surprised. Still on the PlayStation, Missile Command is gearing up to defend the Earth from the evil alien empire. Players are given 6 bases to protect from fallout as meteorites, satellites and alien ships infest their screen. With the aid of rockets, you must predict the path of the tumbling debris and intercept it before it hits Earth. It sounds simple, but believe us, when things begin to get busy, it's no easy task. Missile Command has 2 versions of the game. One is the classic 2D flat version and the other is a brand new 3D affair. The principle is the same in both games, but it's slightly harder in the 3D game because you have to fly out and locate the meteorites before you can destroy them. Missile Command isn't to everyone's taste, but it's an adequate reworking of a once magnificent game. The growth of the internet is changing our lives in many ways. With 100,000 people a day signing up for online services, the internet is becoming an indispensable resource for many people.
Very well.
As well as information, games and videos, many people are now downloading MP3 music files. In fact, MP3 is allegedly the most searched for word on the whole of the internet. MP3 is a standard technology and format for compressing audio sequences into extremely small files whilst preserving a high quality of sound. Many sites now contain MP3 files, but before you can listen to them, you must download an MP3 player. Many of these exist on the web, and opinion varies as to which is best. You can customize the interface to suit your tastes, but most will require you to download and play a file rather than using a streaming sound file. These streaming files can be interrupted by internet congestion. MP3 music playback systems are also finding their way into cars. This technology will let you download your favorite songs from the internet and create your own digital jukebox. Free MP3 downloads are good news for unknown bands. The People Sound website features music which can reach millions of people without the need for costly marketing and packaging. The music you've been listening to during this report is from the People Sound site, which has a strict quality policy and promises only the best music. People Sound is divided into musical categories such as reggae or jazz, or you can perform a search to find music which is exactly to your taste. In the last 50 years, computers have improved beyond all belief. When these strange machines were invented all those years ago, nobody imagined that they might eventually replace record shops. So, happy listening, PC owners. Prepare to enter a gothic nightmare of warriors and vampires as we look at early footage of Vampire the Masquerade on the PC. You play Christoph, a vampire soldier battling for the forces of good within the world of darkness. On a quest that takes you from the medieval cities of Prague and Vienna to the modern landscapes of London and New York, you must control the urges of the vampire beast within before your ultimate showdown with your nemesis, the evil lord Vukodlak. Hailed as one of the next-generation role-playing games, adventurers will be able to choose between playing in clans within a computer-controlled story or acting as the storyteller, a kind of dungeon master able to manipulate the environment and even write scripts for other online gamers. Whether or not Vampire the Masquerade will revolutionize PC RPGs, we'll have to wait and see. One thing's for sure, it's certainly one to watch out for. This is an exclusive first look outside of Japan at one of the most stunning new adventure games that's coming to the PlayStation. From the makers of Final Fantasy, this is Vagrant Story. You take control of Ashley Riot, a member of an elite Imperial police force sent to rescue the imprisoned Duke Bardorba. Along the way, Ashley is joined by a host of other characters, including the warrior Romeo Guildenstein and the beautiful Calo Melos. Together, they must stand against the city's warlord and face the powers of evil massed against them. Featuring a unique combat mode called Active Time Battle System, in which strategy and timing must be used to master the battle sequences, players compete in real-time attacks, targeting specific areas of their opponent in order to weaken and impair their abilities. But that's not all you'll have to contend with. At the Warlord's control are swarms of huge demons, dragons and ogres intent on your destruction. Luckily though, head-to-head battles are not the only form of combat. Players will also need to employ more subtle techniques if they're to survive. Based on elements of Parasite Eve and Metal Gear Solid, the game will require you to use stealth, cunning and problem-solving to make it out of the Duke's castle in one piece. This action RPG is still in development in Japan, but Vagrant Story looks set to be a success. With free-roaming 3D environments, customizable weapons and a rich storyline, this could be one great game. Wow, that's it for this fabulous episode of Cybernet. We'll be back on the Sci-Fi Channel very soon. Until then, why not try to win a Dreamcast? Goodbye.
Brace yourself for a century of fright with 100 years of horror, next on Sci-Fi.
For the sci-fi launch of Season 5 of Babylon 5, we are offering an insight into the phenomenon.
Let's go people get off their encounter-suited butts and do something. I've got nothing to lose!
With an exclusive 1-hour documentary which includes interviews with the newer characters.
Babylon 5 has a loyal and devoted following because it's good.
Followed by Episode 1 of Season 5.
Effective this date, you have full and complete authority in running Babylon 5.
Babylon 5 night, this Tuesday from 8 on Sci-Fi.